Call of Duty Zombies is something that everyone knows. Now, whether you actually like zombies or not, one thing we can all agree is that zombies will always be an iconic part of Call of Duty. Going to 15 plus years ago with World at War back in 2008, to now with the upcoming Black Ops 6 Zombies, Zombies has come a long way. Now, if you're new to this series, what I do is I cover the evolution of every single Zombies map. So, in this video, I'm going to be covering the evolution of 5, but if you're interested in the other ones, I will link them in the description. Anyway, let's get right into it. Now, originally, it was not 5. It was originally just the Pentagon. In the USSD mission in Black Ops 1, you enter the Pentagon as Mason with Hudson. The mission starts with you flying in with Hudson, and you're going to enter this limousine that will take you to the Pentagon so you can go meet John F. Kennedy. Now, the person with the glasses is Secretary McNamara, and he hands you a photo of Dragovich. And Mason says, "When can I kill him?" And then you're off to the Pentagon.
When do I kill him?
We're lucky to have you back, Mason.
Now, upon walking into the Pentagon, you are greeted at the front desk, and after walking for a little bit and looking at people, you eventually end up in the hallway right next to the spawn room. After clearing the checkpoint, you, Hudson, and Secretary McNamara walk down to the elevator, and then you eventually go to the war room. Now, upon entering the war room, Secretary McNamara talks to you a little bit, saying that this is the nerve center, and then after that you proceed to walk down these stairs and make your way towards the, what I believe is the panic room. After that, that's all you really see, so let's move on to the next appearance of 5 in the campaign. Now, the next time that a part of 5 appears in the campaign is in the mission Rebirth. In the mission Rebirth, you and Reznov go into the laboratories of what would be a part of 5 eventually, but instead it's just the laboratories. Now, you can't explore the entirety of the laboratories, but you can explore basically a majority of it. So you and Reznov push through the laboratories, and then eventually you go and kill Steiner, but Steiner is outside the laboratory. But there is a part that I can't compare that is actually in the map 5 as well. Like, this room with the pigs is also in 5. Anyway, that's gonna be it for the mission Rebirth. Let's move on to the map 5 right now. So in 5, the room that you spawn into is actually the room connected to the hallway that you walk down with Hudson when you're playing as Mason. And you can also go out into that hallway and you can see the room where you walked in. Now, you may be able to see the area that Mason and Hudson walk into in the campaign, but you can't actually access that area at all. Now, although you can't access the area that they walked in, you can access the hallway that they walked in to the elevator. Now, what's different about the hallway compared to the campaign is there's speed cola and there's a big glass window on the right. Now, upon going down the elevator into the war room, something you'll notice is that it's pretty much the exact same as from the campaign. The only minor differences is that some of the doors now have windows in them, and those are the barricades, but besides that, that's more or less it. I guess you got double tap right there on my right, but that's more or less it. Now, going down the stairs where the panic room is Juggernog, and there's also Mule Kick right there, but no one buys that because Mule Kick is ass. In the middle, there will be a teleporter that you can use, and going towards the elevator will lead you down to the laboratories from the Rebirth mission. Now, going down the elevator into the laboratories, something that you will see is that the alarms are going off, and there is blood just about everywhere. Now, besides that, that's also kind of it. I mean, you got the Nova Crawlers, there's teleporters that are around the entire bottom floor of the laboratories, and you got the mystery box, and maybe like a couple wall buys, and maybe a perk or two, but besides that, that is kind of it. The rooms are basically the same from the campaign, just kind of changed in a tiny little way, but that's, like I said, really just about it. You do get the iconic weapon, the Winter's Howl. I wasn't able to get it in my game, but I call it iconic because it's iconically ass. The Winter's Howl sucks. It is just a dollar store version of the Ice Staff, but the Winter's Howl came before. Anyway, that's going to be the final appearance of 5 in Black Ops 1, so let's move on to Classified in Black Ops 4. Now, just like in 5, you'd spawn in the spawn room right next to the hallway, and you can tell that a lot's different. Everything's on fire, the power's out, there's blood literally everywhere. You can just tell everything is wrong, and you can actually access the area where Mason and Hudson also walked too. Now, something pretty cool is that you can actually see some of the old Zombies maps, like Shino Numa, Kino der Toten, Deer Reese, and Ascension. That's just a few of the other zombie maps. Now, there is a new area, which I said at the beginning, is the area where Mason and Hudson walked through. This is a little office that you couldn't access in the campaign, and here is where you and Hudson would walk through. Now, honestly, I think it's pretty cool that they actually add more space to 5, because this was just wasted space that didn't need to exist. They could have just blocked this entire area off with like a shutter, but instead they opened it up and classified, which is quite nice. Now, going down the elevator into the war room, it is, like I said, it's the same from 5 and the campaign. It's just there's blood everywhere, and it's a complete mess. There's also no double tap, but there's a mystery box spawn here too, which is pretty cool. Now, in the war room, there is actually one more new piece of the map that you can access, and here is a wall buy and another DEFCON switch. Besides that, there's a teleporter, and that is it. This room is just extra space because of the DEFCON switch that makes it just a little bit more annoying to access the Pack-a-Punch. Now, as you saw with the first 2 floors, the laboratories are also again covered in more blood and messy as hell. Now, besides that, like I said, it's also the same, except there's a couple more little like key features, like in one of the rooms there's a little ray gun that's being built, which is, you know, that's pretty nice and all. But besides that, there's not much. There is a perk in a room, and that's kind of it. You can get a Pack-a-Punch piece down here. It's somewhere in this room on the screen. I don't know where. It can spawn in different places, but besides that, that's pretty much it. So let's move on to the final piece, and that's Pack-a-Punch. Now, after gathering all the parts to build the signal amplifier to change where you teleport, you turn on the DEFCON switch, you go towards the middle, you will hold X to place it, and then instead of going to the panic room, it will bring you to Groom Lake from Moon. And in there, you can pack a punch just like you can in regular Moon, which is a pretty cool little thing. Anyway, that's gonna be just about it for the evolution of 5. If you enjoyed the video, consider subscribing. I upload lots of videos like this every so often. I would say weekly, but I'm very inconsistent. Anyway, this has been Not Wolvesy. I'll see you in the next one. Peace.